We are live at the Real Estate Growth Summit 2019 Breakthrough Real Estate Investing Podcast. And there's a lot of action going on.
I am here too.
I'm here too.
And we are here with our first guest.
First guest of the day, Dan Merriam, speaking to the mic.
Hey guys.
Happy to have you on. We're going to rip through a couple questions with you. Dan, being the sophisticated investor he is, he's off to China in a couple hours, so we got to get through a few things before he does that. What are we going to ask him, Rob?
Well, I guess the first question that we were going to ask you today is, what are some of the goals that you achieved in the past year with real estate investing?
Good question. I've really been working on cleaning up my portfolio, getting rid of properties that aren't performing, trying to move up to bigger properties, to better properties. And then the other thing I've been working on is just building a great team, finding not just trades, but lawyers, people that can give me good advice, tax accountants, and making more connections with great real estate agents and other investors who I can learn from.
Power team. Heard that one a couple times.
Yep. That's
right
it.
on.
Awesome.
What are your big goals coming up for next year?
So one of the things I've been working on, and Sandy knows this because he's been helping out, is moving away from some of the smaller multi-family properties, 2, 3, 4 units, and into some bigger development opportunities and some commercial opportunities. So it's been a bit of a learning curve. It's been it's a totally different beast, so I've been really focusing on learning and growing in that area, and I have 3 projects on the go right now that I'm working on, one of which I'm very excited about, and just starting the planning phase and working with some architects on that now. So
these are all your Hamilton primarily, yeah?
Yeah, these are all downtown Hamilton. I think there's a really great opportunity to take old vacant buildings and warehouse style places and turn them into interesting spaces for residential and commercial. So
And you don't want to share with us really what that project is quite yet, or what?
Absolutely. I just didn't know how much time we had. So it's a 15,000 square foot warehouse that I'm going to be converting into hard lofts, adding a 3rd story, maybe even looking at some prefab opportunities, and then on the main floor do commercial and maybe even a self-storage component. So a lot depends on what the city will allow, but Hamilton, I think, is getting becoming more flexible and is getting working with investors in a way that I don't think they did 5 or 10 years ago. So there's been a lot of changes to the zoning in Hamilton for mixed use, and hopefully residential will come soon. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a really interesting project, as you guys can tell. So what is one tip, one word of advice that you would give someone out there who's listening to advance their career in real estate investing?
I touched on it earlier, but I'll say it again: build a great team, and to add to that, I think too many people are looking for cheap or inexpensive resources, and I used to do that, and I've realized it's penny wise, pound foolish. It doesn't really generate results. You need a team of quality people. I always like to pay my professionals well because they fill in the gaps where you're not as strong. Focus on your strengths and find other people to fill in your weaknesses. And only a good team can do that.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree with that too. That was one of the things that I discovered actually more recently than I would have liked to. Is just there was several people that I would work with, and then you would get a decent result, but sometimes it would take an awfully long time to finish the project, right?
Yep.
So alternatively, I had this guy who would come in and get the job done in like 2 days, where anyone else would take in a week kind of thing, charge the same amount. And I go, wait a minute, you only worked for 2 days. Like, why are you charging me so much? He goes, well, I got it done.
Yeah, he's a pro.
So, yeah. No messing around. So perfect.
Well, what else? Dan's got a flight to catch. Dan's a full-time investor, and looking on some, I don't know, I guess you're doing some international stuff. So that's pretty fun. Do you want to shed any light on that before we let you go?
Yeah, I'm helping. What I've really been working on is starting a business doing consulting for businesses, and helping businesses grow, and taking some of the experiences I've had and learning along the way. So I have a friend in China who runs a manufacturing company, and I'm working to help him grow his business, basically. So yeah, it's a completely different opportunity. It's outside of real estate investing, but who knows? It could come full circle. He's also a new real estate investor, and he's looking at some of those opportunities as well. So yeah, right now it's pretty early on, but it should be. Hopefully, it will work out.
So you have a flight to catch, you said?
Yeah, I'm flying to Guangzhou today.
So you're not even sticking around for the day here?
Unfortunately, I would have liked to, but it's just the way. It's when the cheap flight was available.
Well, you got here to do this, so we're thankful for that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys.
And how can people get in touch with you if they want to do that?
LinkedIn. I have Instagram and Facebook. That's one good way of doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Through McKay Realty Network, they all have my contact as well. I work very closely with them, so easy guy to find.
Perfect. Thanks again for coming on.
Yeah.
Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you guys. Appreciate it. Also, I heard it's your 100th episode, so congratulations, guys. I know how hard you've worked, and I know at the beginning it probably wasn't easy, but it's incredible to watch your podcast grow. It's been really cool.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you being part of the 100th episode, yeah, we look forward to sharing this with everyone soon.
Thank you. We are here with Pierre-Paul Turgeon. Again, we talked to you not long ago, but It's always nice to catch up.
I agree. Always fun to catch up, for sure.
Yeah.
And where are we, Sandy?
We're at the Real Estate Growth Summit 2019, and you can hear probably a little bit in the background. Just a bunch of people walking around, and we're live streaming. And happy to have Pierre-Paul back again, past guest of the show.
Well, I'm happy to be back with you guys.
Awesome.
So we have 3 questions for you today. It's going to be short and sweet.
Yeah.
We know everybody here is got some things to do. Going to listen to some of the speakers and whatnot. So let's get to it. Well, question number 1 that we have for you is, what were your accomplishments over the last year?
You know what it is? As you know, I'm both an investor and an educator, a speaker. And for me, I'm just beginning to master the marketing side of doing a business in the 21st century. That's social media, that's getting out there, speaking, meeting with people. And so my workshops and, online course, the sales are going well. We all attended, the Wealth Hacker Conference a couple of days ago. It was great to see the tribe I'm building. Folks, I couldn't begin to tell you the heartwarming testimonials I got. I just never expected it. Some students, like online course, I've never met them, and they come up to me, they want their pictures taken with me. I feel like I'm a rock star, like Brad Pitt or somebody like famous. But it's just, the kind of impact that it's having on them. So, because I've had that idea in my mind for a long time. I've got more, I've got still hair, Rob, no offense, but it's getting gray. And
getting gray? I said getting gray?
Yeah.
If you're gonna pick on me, I'll pick on you.
But the point is, I wasn't born with social media and learning media and all that. So it's been a long, steep learning curve, and it's working, but it's heartwarming when you can create your tribe like that. So that's one big goal that I'm achieving, still in work in progress, but I see the results, and I'm really excited about that.
Awesome.
What are some of your goals going forward? What have you got on tap for next year into 2020?
Oh, yeah. 2020, especially after attending Wealth Hacker, right? 10X. Yeah. I got to push it.
10X, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I'll 10X certainly the marketing. On investing side, I need to, because I'm in Alberta, so it's been a bit of a rough patch. But time to diversify my investments. As you know, I'm here in Southern Ontario to pound the pavement. I've been looking at your neck of the woods, Sandy, Hamilton, and the Golden Horseshoe Corridor.
Saw some beauties there, right?
Oh, yeah. I just fell over. They were so pretty. Yeah, it's a different reality, which I had to remind myself. And I'm starting to also invest in the stock market, which just dabbling a little bit there. So those are some of the things in 2020. But try to improve again on what I do already. So you don't want to sit on your laurels. So that's my training program. I want to one more time, kind of come up with a new iteration of my online course. Keep improving. I also have great ideas. Put out more content. So it's kind of been an exciting year.
Very good. You can ask the last one.
What would be, if you share one tip with somebody listening to this today, what's your best tip out there for aspiring real estate investors?
It's always mindset, right? People, as human beings, we always shortchange ourselves. Here, I'll tell you what. As a result, so now this week's been very busy. I've been here 10 days in GTA, but it feels like home. I went to school at U of T, so that's when I learned English, back in 1983. And I don't attend a lot of events like this one and Wealth Hacker. And, if you're short on inspiration, why don't you go out to some of these events and be with like-minded people and get that inspiration, see what others are doing, accomplishing, because you're surrounded with a bunch of action takers and doers, and, they bring results. So it's all about bringing results. So if I have one tip, which I'm giving myself, Pierre-Paul, get out a little bit more, get out more with like-minded people. That's what I would say.
Nice, I like that one. Perfect.
That is one thing. Unless you really force yourself, I don't know that it actually. It probably does, but I don't know that it comes 100% natural to anybody.
Yeah.
To just get out there.
Do you remember the quote I said on stage the other day? I said, they say that motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily.
Yeah.
Zig
Right.
Ziglar.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's good. I like it. Okay. Well, appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me again, you guys.
Tell us how everyone can reach you. And you must have some upcoming events and stuff like that.
You know what? I'm going to set the dates when I go back home tomorrow. But I'll have some workshops in Hamilton in the spring, Langley, British Columbia, and Edmonton. So you can reach me at multifamilyinvestingcanada.com, Mick, multifamilyinvestingcanada.com. I've got an ebook. A lot of people sometimes want to know, how do I get started in this multifamily business? Well, I'll start with my ebook because it's designed for you. 5 key questions you got to answer. Because you can't just make the jump overnight. That's one thing people need to know. So you need to think this through. What are your investment goals? Where's the money going to be coming from? How much? And all that. So it's a cool little, not very long, 23 pages. But if you answer these questions, and can decide, is this for me or not? But it can be for everybody, right? Again, mindset. So anybody can do it.
Very good. Very, very good. Thank you. Appreciate
thank
your
you,
time.
guys.
Know you've got a flight going and trying to get ahead of the snowstorm that apparently we're expecting.
Everyone's getting out of here today.
Yeah.
We've had on for us getting out of here.
Yeah. I don't want to be on 4-1 when there's a snowstorm, man. I don't.
No blame you. Well, great having you on again, Pierre-Paul.
Awesome.
Loved it. And want to encourage everyone to check out your stuff and multiple investing.
Oh, yeah. Where do they
Great.
go? Can you give us the website?
Is that? Yeah. Multifamilyinvestingcanada.com. That's where you can get the ebook. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
One more time.
Appreciate it. Multifamily Investing Canada. Mick, Multifamily Investing Canada. Cheers.
Awesome. Great. Okay. Appreciate
Take care. Hey, Rob and Sandy, Pierre-Paul Turgeon, Canada's Multifamily Investing Authority. Listen, congrats on your 100th episode of your amazing podcast with great information for investors. Thank you so much for doing this. Cheers.
Great.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
We're here at the Real Estate Growth Summit. I think that's what it's called. I didn't organize.
I'm pretty sure that's what I've been calling it.
2019, and there's a bunch of people around, so you'll hear some noise in the background and whatnot. And we are here with Andrew Hines and Jacob Campanaro. So thanks, guys, for being here with us. And we're going to talk about a couple of things, just short and sweet today. Don't have time to get into too much, but what the first question that I have for you guys is, what are some of the accomplishments that you've had this past year? Start with you, Andrew.
So this past year, I finished up a multifamily conversion. That was the first one I had actually ever done. I built a unit in the backyard of a property. It's pretty cool, like 2 separate backyards, vaulted ceilings, beautiful property, and added that to my portfolio. I got married, so there was an accomplishment. It was a kind of a busy year with that going on. Kind of maybe sidetracked some of the progress along with starting a podcast of my own. And that's actually taken off pretty well. It's been a really rewarding year, huge network growth. So this year has been more future building, I would say, than years of past. Years of past were all production. And then this year was all about, okay, time to grow the network so that I can grow and take it to the next level. And, that big change for me, I would say, this year.
Right on. And it sounds like it's went quite well.
Yeah, it's been hustle. I've had to grind through it. I had to learn how to do a podcast, which I know you can relate to, and then how to do it volume and, put out an episode a week now, which is the current rate I'm doing it, which is extremely time intensive. But, I got to catch up with you, man. I got years to make up on. So,
well, we'll get to your podcast in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. Jacob.
Yeah.
What are some of your accomplishments from the past year?
Yeah. So I've been working in real estate now for about 3 years. So I would say within the last year, I finally reached that stable income level where it's not, paycheck to paycheck, meal to meal. It's, a steady income. Now that I have that stability, I've actually done my first flip. It's a cottage.
Mm-hmm.
So taking, some of Andrew's advice, listening to podcasts, building that. So really a knowledge year for me, learning a lot, and just, baby steps here into this field that I ideally want to end up in.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
The cottage.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to flip a cottage? It seems a little niche.
Yeah. So first off, it was a great deal, so I couldn't turn that down. But it was more because I'm looking at an Airbnb route. Mm-hmm. I want to do vacation rentals rather than just long-term duplexes, things like that. It attracts me to it a little more. And, I see it as an end goal for me to have those vacation properties.
So you said it was a flip, though.
Sort of a flip to yourself there scenario, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah. I understand the purpose of flipping. Like, I get it. And a lot of people turn it into a business, but myself, I just don't. I like to hang on to everything. Not necessarily forced, but in the past, I've sold more properties than I would have liked to. That's for sure.
So I want to put it together. I'm doing a bunch of different things, but I want to put it together, and I want to find a way to put $1 million in income together across everything I'm doing: wholesaling, flipping properties, buy and holds, the rental income that's coming in there. I know that it's possible. It's a huge stretch for me in what I've done, but I know it's possible. And if you don't set the big goal, you're never going to hit it.
Yeah. And if you shoot for $1 million and come up 3/4 of the way, it's better than shooting for $500,000.
That's still pretty sweet, right?
Yeah. That's good advice. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob, what about you?
Yeah. So for this year, it's going to be the main goal is working on my business, looking for a personal assistant, trying to grow that. And then my secondary goal there is actually to end up in a house hack situation where essentially I'm living in one of my income properties and benefiting off of either not paying rent or mortgage, or paying a very small amount for that.
And then your goal would be to do that and move on, like do the next one
Yeah,
kind of thing?
exactly. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
You married?
Not yet. So I have that.
You got it. Yeah,
it's a little
that's
easier
good,
for me to do.
Good advice.
Yeah.
My wife
plan.
won't agree to that. Which
Mine
is
won't either.
His sister, by the way. I'm married to his sister.
Okay. Because that was something I always wanted to do. I didn't get to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that sounds great. Okay, last question for you guys is what was the last question?
We'll give you a second to think about it.
What is your biggest tip for the people out there listening to this?
Build your network, because that will build your net worth. That's so cliche and so oversaid, but it's so true. Like, I didn't do it. I was like head down, hiding from social media for like 6 years as an investor. I don't know what it was. Like, don't be afraid somebody's going to take your idea or any of that stuff. Like, get out there and network with people, because the connections you make will accelerate your growth so much faster, which I can just see coming now. Like the general contractors I've met, the people I've met that I know can help me in my business go to the next level. Wouldn't have found that unless I had started getting out there. So I would really, really recommend get out there, build your brand, network, do all that fun stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And worrying about somebody stealing your brand or stealing your idea, I mean, it's better to take action now as opposed to worrying about someone stealing your idea and trying to put it all together 100%.
Right. Yeah. If you constantly hide in fear, right? Like, what are you on the offense or are you on the defense?
Yeah.
You know, you want to be on the offense and trying to grow. So,
Jacob.
That's great, Andrew. Actually, that was my exact tip.
Stole it
But
from.
I guess something I can add on to that is start from day one. Start that database from day one. Whether it's a mailing list, it's your Instagram account, business, your Facebook. Because so many people I talk to, say, "Oh, I'm 5 years in. I wish I started a year ago, 2 years ago, because now I'm just trying to build this database at this time when I've already could have had 1,000 people, 500 people that I'm marketing to." So yeah, definitely start day one and build that list.
Yeah, exactly. And don't wait for everything to be perfect.
Mhm.
Like we're here at the Growth Summit, like we said, and right across from me is Gary McGowan and his black and white, not so black and white, real estate podcast, and they're talking over there right now. And look at the setup that they've got. So, Randall Reshort here with me at the live real estate Growth Summit 2019.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. And so, Randall, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm actually a Keller Williams agent at the moment. So I help people buy and sell real estate, but I am trying to focus on investors primarily, a lot like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also been investing in property since 2011. Currently, I have 2 properties, one in downtown Toronto and one in Peterborough.
Nice. Okay. So we're just asking everyone 3 questions today. Okay. So the first one for you is how was last year? What accomplishments did you get last year?
So last year was kind of my first year being full-time in both real estate sales and trying to build an investment business of my kind of hobby. So I took some coaching through, I'm actually still in coaching with Quentin D'Souza, which I found to be an amazing help. He's a wonderful resource and a really experienced investor. So that's been wonderful. Another big accomplishment was just getting out and doing more with the community, joining Durham REI, going to Irwin's events, meeting people like yourself. And I added a property to the portfolio through a good agent in Peterborough.
Awesome.
And that's a student rental. And I also did a little bit of private lending and a joint venture.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Well, with the Peterborough property, joint venture.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Yeah. And now what are your plans for next year?
I'm hoping to build on all of those things, learning a little bit more about some of the private lending. And I'd like to do 2 more joint ventures next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to focus on Peterborough and buy another new primary residence, hopefully.
Okay. And so why are you looking to move then?
Currently, I'm renting downtown. We're kind of doing a bit of a transitionary year renting while we save up some money and then hopefully purchase another Toronto house.
So what would you say is the number 1 tip that you could leave people with from what you've learned over the last little bit?
I think getting out there, meeting people. I'm a bit of an introvert, but yeah, just trying to put myself out there, meet people, learn from others. And now with my real estate sales stuff, try and help other people get into what I've been doing.
Mm-hmm. It can be tough to put yourself out there. It really can. I mean, just for example, it's hard to have the camera on me, doing these kind of things. And then I forget what the question was. And, we have some fun with that.
Absolutely. But you guys have been doing a great job. I've learned a ton from you and Sandy on the podcast and in person.
Oh, right on. Thank you.
And there's a lot of good people in the community. It's great.
And how can people reach out to you if they want to get in touch with you?
They can go to ontarioassets.com or my personal email is randall@ontarioassets.com.
Great. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate you stopping by the booth.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Have a good day. Adrian Pannozzo, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. So we're just going to do a couple of questions today.
Yeah.
I know you're here to hear the speakers, so don't want to take too much of your time. But I just wanted to ask you, what are some of your big achievements over the last year you want to share with everybody?
Yeah, so for sure. Last year was an incredible year for us with respect to growth. Sandy and I started Executive Properties Capital Inc., which is an investment company focusing on joint venture partnerships with other investors and investing in real estate together. So not only did we start that company, which is, again, been growing pretty rapidly, our goal was also to put together a bunch of different companies that we could provide a full service portfolio, if you will, for any investor coming through the door that is interested in investing in real estate. So right from the real estate angle to the investment angle, we've partnered up with other companies as well. Construction company, for example. We have our own marketing company now. We have our own virtual assistant company. So there's the mindset was to try and really corner the market with capitalizing and providing all these different services for our clients, our joint venture partners, which I think, big picture, I don't know of any other company right now that's offering all the things we were able to offer our clients and our joint venture partners. So it's been a challenge to get all those companies off the ground in 2019, but so far so good.
That's really interesting too, that you have all of those things combined, like they all work together. But you're right. I think for the most part, not a lot of people are taking all of those things and putting them together. You'll have some mixture of them with different companies, but that's quite like virtual assistants. Never really heard of that being included as part of a package sort of thing.
Yeah, well, a lot of our joint venture partners and clients we work with are business savvy as well, and they have multiple businesses on the go. And there's only so many hours in a day where we want to leverage our time and give the smaller things to maybe a virtual assistant that can control that for you, so you can focus on the bigger things that are going to make you that much more profitable or growing and growth and getting ahead with you and your family, your companies, your business, your business goals, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so that was what you did last year. Now let's talk about your big goals for 2020. What do you have planned?
So our goals for 2020, again, growing these companies, the growth factor is huge, but more so we are going to now start to focus on bigger scale investments. We're looking at bigger opportunities, 20, 30, 40 unit buildings that we're able to capitalize and incorporate the buy, renovate, refinance strategy. A lot of our investors are looking for bigger opportunities like that. So we're going to try and focus. I mean, we're never going to pass up a good deal, but we're going to more try to focus on building this capital company and investing in larger opportunities, if you will, in the apartment style complex.
Very good. Anything else?
I think that's going to take a lot of time, to be quite honest with you, but
I was sort of wondering if you were planning more vacations and stuff. I saw some of your pictures from the last one.
Yeah. Well, that's always Sandy's earphones here keeps on, but that's always for sure. I would focus. Our goal, well, me and my family's goal, is at least 5 vacations a year.
Wow.
Knock on wood, we get there. But last year we took, I think we hit 4 vacations last year in Europe, the Caribbean, so on and so forth. And again, the power of real estate has enabled me and my family the luxury and the freedom to be able to pick up and go 4 to 5 times a year. So we're going to continue, obviously, to do that and enjoy ourselves as well, because work hard, play hard.
Yeah, I think I probably could have went on vacations, and I had like such a limited mindset growing up. Money wasn't spent on things like vacations because that's just money thrown away.
Right.
Really, that's the mindset. So it wasn't until I got into the whole real estate thing that I even started taking any vacations at all.
Yeah.
And it's such an important thing, I think, to just put work down and really have enjoy life. That's the whole point. And then get back to it and build it so you can do it again.
Absolutely.
So I guess, do you have one big tip that you can leave for everybody that's listening to this?
Yeah, for sure. I my biggest tip for everybody listening is surround yourself with the right team. I can't stress that enough. It's really made a difference in my life. It's made a difference in my investment world life. Having the right team of people, competent people, to steer you in that right direction, to give you that right advice, to so on and so forth. I can't stress that anymore. It's I think real estate investing is, it's not brain surgery, but at the same time, having the people in your corner that have been there, done that, fall forward and get up and keep going is huge in this industry.
There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things can happen.
Absolutely.
So yeah, prepare yourself. That's good, very good advice. And thanks for stopping by here again. How can people get in touch with you, Adrian?
Yeah, just simply flip me an email, executive properties, IES, at rogers.com. And I'd be love to help you out. And if I can pass on any advice that I've been able to accumulate over 9 years of real estate investing, I'd love to do that.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much, Adrian. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, and congratulations on your 100th episode, I believe.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Cheers.
Yeah. We are here with Gary McGowan and Colin Campbell from the Not So Black and White Real Estate Podcast, and other places as well, as I'm sure that we'll learn. But that's one good place you can hear them together. So thanks for coming on, guys. Appreciate you being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
This is a big
first
step.
This is the first time we run a podcast together.
That's not your own.
That's not our own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is amazing.
So thanks,
Right on.
Rob.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You guys are set up right across the hall from us here at the
Roadstone.
conference here that we're at, and I'm quite jealous of how you guys have everything set up. But like I was saying to you earlier, if we waited until we had your setup, we would have put out any shows.
The truth is, Rob and Sandy, the goal is we all want to be like you. Because you guys have been doing this. This is good. This is your 100th episode. We're looking up to you guys to learn and grow and to take nuggets from you so that we can take back to our own and be able to flourish and, do really well at it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. And you guys are doing quite well too. So kudos for your podcast. We just have a couple questions for you guys today. It's not going to be a long interview, just a few minutes. So the first thing I wanted to ask you is, what are some of the achievements that you're most proud of over the last year that you want to share with us?
You go first.
I'll go first because Gary's got a big something
He's
big.
going to
there.
talk too long, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he talks a lot.
Yeah.
I think my biggest accomplishment this year is having a new team member on my team, 21 years old, and in September he was able to cross the $100,000 mark of income.
Amazing.
So 21 years old. That is something that he never thought was possible within 9 months or even within a year, and he's been able to break through those barriers, and now he's thinking much bigger. His goal next year, it was so exciting to hear that he shared it with me earlier, that his goal next year is $250,000. So, and this is a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
So that there, I would say my biggest accomplishment, the thing that I'm most proud of this year. Apart from kids, family, all that stuff, right? Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course. And I mean, that's why we're doing all this, right? What's that like as a team leader to bring somebody on? And is that like, do you find that you take a lot of that onus on you to be able to provide that to him?
Absolutely, because now, we have our own families that we are innately responsible for, and we want to go and do everything for them. Now, when a team member joins your team, they're now becoming a part of that family. Mm-hmm. And you might have sleepless nights based on how do I provide for my kids and my wife. It's the same thing. You're going to have sleepless nights. How do I challenge my coworker, my business partner thinking? How do I provide for them so that they can provide for their family? What opportunities can we create so that they can grow into those opportunities?
Yeah, and it's similar, I think, to a joint venture partnership in a way that, you feel that responsibility. right?
Absolutely.
To pull through for them. And, you know, I don't think that ever goes away, because anytime I have a new partner, it's sleepless nights. Am I spending their money right? Like, they're trusting me a lot here. You know, am I making the wrong move on this or that? So, so yeah, that's a very big accomplishment. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Gary,
Appreciate it.
what do you want to share with us? What were some of your achievements from the past year?
From the last year, there's been a few. One that stands out is an opportunity came up for me where I would actually step out of being a realtor and selling homes on a day-to-day basis, and more importantly, leading my team. And so that opportunity was to actually work within our brokerage as a general manager.
Yes.
And so that, after 2 or 3 months kind of going back and forth and making sure that it was the right decision for me and for the brokerage, I took that opportunity. And really now, instead of running a smaller team, I'm running a team of, you know, over 230 agents. And now I get to work with those agents like Colin and so forth to understand their big why, help them achieve their huge goals, and think bigger. And it's forced me to think way bigger than I ever have before. And I love it. I really love it. I'm very proud of that move and what it's done for me for sure.
I saw that announcement. Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So now, what are your big goals going into 2020? Colin, what do you got planned?
My plan is to create duplicate what I've done this year with the success of my business partner. Create more like that. And the goal is to create 3 more associates, partners like that can break through their limits and belief and achieve their goals. So that's my big goal this year.
Beautiful.
For 2020.
What about real estate investing goals? Do you have any real estate investing goals?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about those.
Investing goal is to find 2 JV partners, and I'm actually working through the numbers of how many properties to pick up next year.
Yeah. It's not about the numbers though, right? Like I think that's a Russell Westcott thing.
That's right.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
See, we got to talk about the investing part. That's right there. So, Gary, what about you?
So I have a really unique opportunity, whereas, you know, in the past I've done a lot of teaching and working investment seminars, and I now get to teach our realtors the value of owning investment property. And it's important for me to do that because a lot of them have not had that opportunity before.
No.
And they don't see it as an opportunity. And as you know, and you're a realtor too, and having investment properties, that's what generates wealth. And kind of opening their eyes to that has just been a huge opportunity for me, because I'm able to speak from experience and how to look and analyze properties, how to attract joint venture capital. And we're talking about all those things now. And it's kind of getting me back in the game, because you can talk a good game. You talk a way better game if you're actually doing it though, right? As you know. So
lead by example, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to in 2020, is leading by example, sharing what I know with the people around me and helping them grow their wealth.
Okay, now what are your investment plans?
So our investment plans, we're actually exiting a few of our properties to move that money into, you know, we're getting rid of our dogs, as people like to say. So moving that money into pure cash flow producing properties, also bigger opportunities for us, and working, and we own those properties with partners. So making sure we're all aligned and we're always working on those relationships, whether they're good, bad, or sideways. You always got to massage them and work on them. And we're looking to acquire some other properties in the new year for sure.
What types of properties are you interested in?
So we like multifamily properties. Anywhere from we own anything from single family up to 5-plex, but as long as you have 2 or more units, we're thrilled with that.
Awesome. Okay. Can you leave us with a big tip? What's one tip that you would be able to offer to the listeners?
I can leave it with 3. Is that okay?
No, just said
Okay.
one.
So
Good one.
then
He
forget,
told me he talks too much. Right?
forget those three.
I warned you.
Yeah. Drink coffee and have fun. The three tips that I always like to leave and work with is when I talk about buying investment properties is I want to know how I'm going to buy it. 2, I want to know how I can add value to that property. And 3, I want to know how I can exit that property. If I can't answer those 3 questions, I'm on to the next property.
And it's always good to have different ways of exiting the property. So
Absolutely.
I mean, if the only answer is buy and hold, that's you got to kind of look at it like, no, if no one else is going to buy this property, maybe I don't want it either, or whatever. Lots of different multiple exit strategies is good.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, thanks, Colin. What about you?
For me, it's in terms of specifically around investing, it's just taking action. A lot of us, we analyze and we pore over the data and we ponder whether to do it or not. The experience is going to come by us doing it. Just get there and do it. There's no failure if we learn from it. Right? So it's taking action, surround yourself with the right people so you can mitigate your losses. At some point, we just need to take action and stop sitting on the sideline and watching people soar to their, highest potential and become the best that they can be, where they're owning, hundreds of properties and we're still analyzing the data from 10 years ago. Just get out there and buy a property.
And everyone likes to sound like they're just like they've done all their research and they want it. They want to come at that way, because if somebody asks you, why did you buy that place? You want to go, well, economic fundamentals, like that's what everyone wants to do.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is, look, I don't pretend to know about all the economic fundamentals of Oshawa or Peterborough. I know that they're good towns, but something can happen regardless of where you invest, right? So as long as that property is cash flowing, you got to have at least enough experience and background into looking into things that you can figure that out.
Of course.
But I think that it sounds cliche, but that is probably the biggest piece of advice that anyone can take away. And that was Grant Cardone's huge offering,
on the weekend there.
On the weekend, just take action, just do something. You can't sit and analyze. You can't stop for 1 second.
Yes.
As soon as you get the idea, go and do something about it. Otherwise, you're not going to.
Absolutely. You need to stop looking at the world as a spectator. Let's get in the race. Get into the arena. Let's take action.
I forgot that for a little while myself, and it's nice to be back around people that are thinking that way again, So
Yeah.
cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you coming on, answering our questions. And Gary, you didn't talk that much.
No, it wasn't too bad, right?
Not overly. You've been over there talking all morning, so maybe that's it.
Thanks a lot for having us,
Thanks.
Rob. Appreciate
Thanks,
it, brother.
Rob and Sandy, huge congratulations to you and your 100th episode. Huge achievements.
This is a big deal. I mean, 100, it's, people get to 50 episodes, 10 episodes, but when you attach 100 to anything, like you are in a league where most people don't get to. So that is a huge accomplishment. Like I've said before, this is how we look up to you guys, and it's our goal to, follow in your footsteps as well. So congratulations. Amazing job.
So we are here with Mark Loeffler. Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure. Good to see
Appreciate you
again,
being
Rob.
here.
It'll be better once you join Keller Williams. Of course.
Yeah. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
The co-host isn't here. He's busy with his duties in the other room. So it's just you and me today.
All right. Sounds good.
Mark, I guess introduce yourself again a little. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Mark Loeffler. I'm a real estate investor. I've been a real estate investor for the last 20 or so years. 10 years ago, I got my real estate license, ran a big team. Sandy was part of that. Got Sandy into real estate, who got Rob into real estate. And,
As an agent.
Sorry, I apologize for everybody now have to deal with both of them.
They dealt with us before that. We weren't agents.
There you go. And now basically I buy real estate. I invest in businesses. I do some mentoring a little bit on the side. That's about it.
We'll have to have you back on when we have more time to do an extended interview, because you things have changed drastically since we had you on before.
Yeah, things have changed a lot. Like, yeah, I stopped obviously running my real estate team. And yeah, basically I retired for about 2 years before last year when I jumped back in and actually took a job because I got bored. So golf season had ended.
So we'll have to follow up with you on that one and get the extended story. But today, I just have 3 questions for you today. So the first one is, what are some of the achievements that you've had over the last year that you can share with us?
Yeah, I guess some of the achievements are, I mean, I've closed on about 80 units this year.
80 units.
Yeah, 80 units. I've had a 55% return on my options account. I've invested in 5 new businesses. Profit share has grown a fair bit, which you should learn about, by the way.
You're like the guy that people need to get in front of with their Dragon's Den sort of ideas.
100%. That's what I do a lot of.
Well, there we
get small business owners, and I work with them to grow the business. And I work with guys who, obviously, people who I like, actually, I should say, it's not all guys. And yeah, they got a business idea. Maybe don't have the funds to start it, but they're passionate about it. They want to work hard, and they have the knowledge and expertise. I'm happy to help.
Well, okay. So you were in the middle of your, well,
Yeah,
probably not the middle, probably still at the beginning of your achievements, but let's continue.
So I did a half Ironman in Dubai. I did this thing called the Wilderness Traverse, the 150-kilometer adventure race. It takes up to 30 hours. We did that in 25 and a half hours. So that was fun. What else? In my job, I've basically doubled the size of the office that I'm in Oakville. So if you're an Oakville agent, you want to talk to me about joining Keller Williams Signature, give me a call. I don't know.
You know, I like that you didn't go right into just all financial achievements, all business achievements. It was life achievements, you know, things that you wanted to do in your life too.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And that's why we do all this.
Oh, I mean, I got my handicap down to about a 13 in golf from a 23. So that's a pretty big jump in a year. And I still have a lot of work to do on putting. So.
Right on. 80 units. Let's, so I lied to you. Okay. We've got a lot more than 3 questions because I'm going to dive into each one, I guess, a little bit and talk about it. But how does that start? How does that all work? 80 units in a year.
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. You just buy 4 buildings.
Okay. So you bought 4 buildings, combined total 80 units.
32,
That's,
20, 19.
Don't play it
9.
down though.
No, I mean, I'm not. I mean, but that's what it is. I mean, so I have a system and model in place that I can basically buy. I mean, if it's the right property and it works for me, it's like the type of thing I'm looking for, I can basically close on in 3 or 4 weeks. And once that's in, like, it takes maybe an hour of my time over the next 3 to 6 months. Yeah. So like, as I said, I have a system and model that, you know, once I put them in and they get into system, I'm spending maybe an hour or 2 the first 3 months. And then after that, I'm maybe spending 15 minutes a month. And that's mainly bookkeeping. And, you know, I do a little blurb to the investors every 3 months saying, hey, we've renovated this many units. Here's the rents we're getting now. Here's the P&L, the balance sheet, all that type of stuff. And away we go.
So we'll get all the contact information where people can find stuff like that at the end. Let's talk about your big goals for next year, 2020. What do you got planned?
That's the thing. I haven't really planned anything else this year. For next year yet.
Vacations, family time.
We're gonna go to Costa Rica, Nicaragua for a week. I'll probably actually renovate my cottage. That'll be a big one for next year. I haven't been any races yet, which is bothering a lot of people because I'm training still, and they're like, "Oh, what are you training for?" I'm like, I don't know yet. Like, well, why do you keep training for what you're training? I'm like, well, I don't know. If I don't train, like, what else am I gonna do, right?
Right.
So, yeah, kind of. I really haven't. I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to add more buildings next year because why not? I'm going to just collect them. We're going to refinance 3 of them, so that's going to give us a big whack of cash. And you know, my partners don't really want their money back; they want to just build a portfolio. Mm-hmm. So we'll do that. Probably add another 80 to 100 units. I want to get to single digits handicap for golf. So, I'd be happy at a 7 or 8, maybe a 6. A scratch golfer, I don't think I'll ever be, because I don't want to put the time and effort into that. I want to get my
That's
trade.
mindset too. Just will it into the hole.
Yeah, sure. I've read that book too. What's that? The monk who sold his Ferrari or whatever.
I have no idea. I was just trying to bring mindset into it because I haven't golfed. I think I've golfed, well, probably a combined total of maybe 10 times in 10 years kind of thing. So.
Yeah. And you go out and beat Sandy? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Well, I've never played with Sandy.
Yeah.
Sandy's quite the golfer though, I hear.
Sandy's a good golfer.
Yeah.
Sandy's probably still a 4 or 5, even though he golfs maybe twice a year.
If he wasn't doing this, that's what he'd be doing.
100%. Or a professional poker player. Don't play poker with Sandy, okay?
Maybe we'll set up an online thing. That way we can fund the podcast.
That's that. There you
go. Okay, Mark. Do you have a tip that you can leave us with?
Yeah. To be honest with you, my biggest tip is, as I was talking about on another podcast today, is, just say yes, take action, figure it out later. What's the worst thing that happens? Doesn't work out. And don't take it as a failure. Take it as a learning opportunity.
This has been a huge theme today. I mean, and it sounds so cliche. It sounds like the thing that everyone says, just take action, but really it's not. Like, if there's one thing that will get you somewhere, that's the only thing that will get you anywhere, is to actually do something.
Well, I mean, it's funny. We had a new agent come in the office and he wants to work with investors.
Mm-hmm.
I said, he's like, how do I get started? I said, go out and look at 100 properties. Go out and physically look at 100 properties, renovated, unrenovated, figure out what the rents are, crunch all the numbers on each 100 properties. And once you've done that, you'll have more knowledge than 90% of the people, 90% of the investors out there, because they don't go out and do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can talk intelligently to an investor. And as soon as you can do that, I mean, selling real estate's not that hard, is it?
No. Well, I mean, look, I think you have to know something. You have to figure something out, right, in order to make it work.
And yet it's a learned skill.
Mm-hmm. I see what you mean. Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
I guess that's the point.
Yeah.
Anyone can do it. You don't have to be the smartest guy to be able to go out and buy a duplex.
Right. Well, it's the same thing as if I want to be a scratch golfer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a learned skill. I mean, I have the athletic ability to do it. It's just, I don't want to put the time and effort in that it would take me to go out and be a scratch golfer. Whereas that I wanted to put the time and effort into going out and learning to put a system and model together to buy apartment buildings, or to trade options or invest in businesses.
Take action, everybody. That's the lesson. I think it's going to be the long running theme of, whatever the tips are from the guests today.
Yep.
Okay, Mark, how can people get in touch with you?
You can find me on Instagram, Living the Dream 40.
Living the Dream 40. I like that.
All right.
Thanks again for being here. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Rob.
And that's it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye. Hey, congratulations, Rob and Sandy, on 100 podcasts. That's awesome. I know I was on really early, between 15 and 20. And to be honest with you, I didn't think you'd make it.
So we've got Adriano here today. Adriano is a investor. He's a electrician, blue collar guy, and one of our go-to guys in Hamilton to do a lot of our jobs. I know he works with a lot of investors in Hamilton, owns rental properties himself. He's an investor and really savvy guy and smart guy when it comes to investment in real estate. Adriano, what are Grande Electric, I should mention, is the company. What are some of your achievements over the last year that you're really excited about?
Well, in the last year, I actually started doing a new investment also, which is stock options trading, along with real estate. And so I'm really happy with those gains I've been doing lately, about 30 to 40% year to date.
34%.
Really,
wow.
40%. Pretty cool.
Yeah. When did you start doing that?
A year and a half ago.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
And did it go right into those gains right away, or was it a bit of a...
Slow. In the beginning, you go slow and you just test out the water, see how it works. And then after, you keep adding more money. The more money you have in, the more it grows, right? It's like it's kind of like real estate, right? It's like a little bit like real estate too, right? First time you buy one, and then you do buy another one, and then you reinvest and take out the money and build another one. It's the same kind of idea.
So what did you do? How did you get into real estate originally? It's the stock thing. That's the second. That's the secondary
real
thing,
estate
right?
was the first thing. Was Mark, actually Mark, who was it? Mark Loeffler and Billy, my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
They were at a Rains event, and that's how I got into real estate myself. My family's always been invested in real estate, but it was when we went to these real estate investing courses that we decided to start buying real estate.
And Mark Loeffler, we've had him on this. Actually, I got him on this episode again. This is our 100th episode. I don't know if you know. This is our live 100th episode that we're shooting here. You're going to be a part of it. So
100th anniversary.
100th anniversary
that's
episode.
awesome.
Yeah. And so what are some goals for next year? You've done some cool stuff this year. You've added another kind of income stream to your
another income stream. So now I have 3 right there.
Now you got your business, which is
one
electrical
company, and now I have the options trading.
And you got real estate.
I think now this year's goal, coming up for next year meeting, next year 2020, will be to. I'm actually in my first apartment building that I bought. I'm refinancing December 1st, pulling out some of that money, and hopefully I can buy another apartment building.
Nice.
And generate some more income.
What kind of properties do you got right now in your portfolio?
So I have 16-unit apartment building, made in Ontario, and I have 3 townhouses down on the mountain, up on the mountain.
Hamilton Mountain, right? So you're all in Hamilton?
All Hamilton, everything's Hamilton.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you live in Hamilton?
No, I live in Etobicoke.
So just outside of Toronto.
Yeah, just right. Yeah,
and you're down in Hamilton all the time, though. I know you do a lot of your a lot of your business is there.
West End, West Side. So from Toronto, Oakville, Burlington, Hamilton.
Why don't you share with the listeners what would be one, if you had one of the biggest tips, biggest things you've learned over years investing in real estate that you would share with them? What would that be?
The number one thing would be to keep investing and not worry about all the noise from the news saying, "Oh, we're going to crash this and that." You just keep going, buy rental property. The rentals always will feed your pockets, right? So you don't got to worry about the price. The price goes down 50%, you're still going to make money because you're renting it out. As long as it's rental, stick to rentals, you'll always be a winner.
And so you got to tell us a little bit more about this stock stuff. What are you doing there? How are you able to do that and make it work? Like, how much education did you need? What was the process to get to where you are at it with it now?
Zero education. You just need to be willing to learn a new tool, right? So I read a couple books, 2-3 books. I had like my mentors, which was Omar Khan and Mark.
What was the book? What was the main book?
Money for Nothing, Your Stocks Are Free.
Money for Nothing, Your Stocks Are Free, which they can pick up somewhere. I think it's a website.
Yeah, you can buy it online, or it's a Derek Foster book.
Yeah.
And then you read that one. Then there's another book, but that's the main book that'll get your head, your wheels spinning in your head.
Okay. So, I mean, sounds pretty good. It sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can make like 1% to 2% per month. So per year, it adds up being over 24 if you compound it, right? Monthly, it's
a good cash flow model.
Cash flow. It's a cash flow.
Not going to build wealth necessarily real estate.
No, it's totally different. It's more cash flow.
However, cash flow is good.
Real estate's good for the wealth growth.
Yeah.
This is cash flow. So you do both, you're laughing.
Awesome.
I think it's great.
Awesome. Well, if anybody needs to reach out to you and talk to you about probably either with investments or electrical work in west end of Toronto all the way over to Hamilton, how can they do that?
Give me a call at 416-659-2001, and you can email me at grandeelectric@gmail.com.
All right, there you go. Give them a shout if you have any electrical needs. He's your man.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on.